Hello everyone, I am Ravi Motwani and I work as a senior product analyst with Zomato. And I have Nipun here with me and we'll be doing a case round today. Yeah, Nipun, over to you.
Okay. Hey everybody. I'm a product analyst at Moneyview. In past, I have worked with Meesho and Doubtnut as well. So we'll be discussing a mock case study. So Ravi, what do you have for me? What's the question?
Uh, so one of the problems that has come up is that one of our clients, Zoomcar, is having a problem with their revenues.
Okay.
So they have declining revenues since a certain time, and we have to deep dive into what could be the reasons for it, and we'll go into the solutioning later on.
Understood. Understood. So Uh, Zoomcar, as I understand it, it's a car leasing business. They have majorly two business models, as far as I know. Let me know if I'm wrong. So they have short-term dealings and long-term dealings. In short-term, they have two business models: without fuel and with fuel. And in long-term dealings, like if a person can have your car for more than a month. And short-term dealings are 1 day, 2 day, 7 day, that kind of business. So these are the two major businesses. Uh, are we seeing a decline across the both these segments, or is it any specific to?
So you're correct. These are their two main business lines. They have short-term thing and long-term thing, as you said. Uh, but 90% of their revenues comes from those short-term deals that you talked about.
Okay,
So and majority problems are coming in that area only. So yeah.
understood, understood. And can you tell me how long have you been seeing this decline?
So we have been seeing this for the past 4 or 5 months at least,
Okay.
and yes, there has been a steady decline since then, and we have not been able to figure out what could have been the reason.
Is this more of a? Can you tell me more about the what's the industry averages as of now, or any competitor data that we might have? Is it a more like an industry trend seasonality that we are seeing in this? Do we have anything over there?
No, actually, the competition is doing rather well for itself.
Okay.
We have two players in this field, which mostly operate on the same tech stack model that we have. They also have a consumer app wherein they do their bookings as well. So those two three players are doing rather well only. At least
Understood.
their revenues are stable, as far as I know.
Understood. Understood. So, as far as I understand, I guess this is a problem with our own business model. So let's dig deep into it. Okay. So the revenue function, since it has been declining for Zoomcar, would be, and majorly I'm talking about the short-term leasing business. So it'll be number of cars into number of trips per car in 1 day into its average trip revenue. So this would be revenue for 1 day. So we have three factors over here: number of cars, number of trips per car per 1 day, and average trip revenue. I would want to get more insights into each of these factor. So, is our have the number of cars also declined, stayed the same? Any idea in the last 4 or 5 months what you have seen?
No, actually, as far as the business is concerned, we feel that there has been no constraint on supply, and we have more than enough supply to cater the current demand that we are having.
Understood. Second factor over here is number of trips per car in a single day. So, can we have any thoughts over here?
So yeah, this number I'd say has been declining. We have seen a considerable drop in this number. The last factor which you said, price for a single trip, has also largely been the same during this period. But this particular factor, the number of trips a particular car undertakes in that period, has been seeing a drop.
Understood. Understood. So, number of trips per car in a single day has declined, and other two factors are more or less same. I can attribute this to majorly, like we can see this from two ways, I guess: supply and demand. And like you mentioned, that the number of cars that we have has more or less remained same. And what I'm guessing, it's a highly unlikely scenario wherein most of these cars are under maintenance at the same time. uh, so I am
Yeah,
supposing that's highly unlikely. So it's definitely a demand issue that we are facing. That the demand for our cars for in a single day uh, is having the issue. So how I would let me just again jot down my thoughts on how can I. segment the demand better.
Sure.
So our demand can be again broken down into basically a number of users into their frequency of booking the car. Uh, so again, like help me with both of these data points. Has our users decreased, or the frequency decreased, or both of them has taken a hit?
So we have seen that users that have been with us, their frequency has also decreased. But at the same time, the number of users that book in a month, let's say, has also been decreasing. So both of these things, as you said, have been on a secular decline. Um,
Understood.
so yeah, that.
And this, when we say the number of users, I would again like to segment it basis new users that are coming in and our old users. So, is there a decline in a certain segment, or is it again in both of the user types that we have seen the frequency and the total absolute number has decreased?
So the drop is larger for new users, but there has also been a significant drop for our retained users or the users which we had acquired before. There has been a drop in both of them, but the drop is larger for new users.
Okay, okay. And when we say these new users, can you help me with the any acquisition channels that we have? Can you talk a more bit about that?
So,
Like what's
so
organic?
so Zoomcar currently has mainly three acquisition channels. We do a lot of marketing on Meta ads, Google ads, all those things. We also do a lot of uh, organic thing with various different influencers and all in the same space. We try to partner with them, but what we have seen is that our ROAS, particularly for our Meta campaigns, our Google campaigns, has had seen a huge decline. Our return there was declining, so the client has since that time paused down their Meta and Google campaigns since that time. And we are again strategizing on marking the campaigns better, basically improving the targeting and all those things. But currently we do see a decline in our ROAS from those campaigns.
Understood. So as far as I understand, basically new users, like you mentioned, was a function of organic plus your paid channels, and these paid channels were majorly your Google, Meta, and over there, what we have seen is that the ROS, return on ad spend, has increased, and hence you guys have like stopped the campaigns, which I'm guessing like because of which now lot less users would also be coming. So this is a
Yes.
concerning point, I guess, that that's why the ROS is increasing, right. So let me just jot down my thoughts on like as to why this ROAS has been decreasing. So far so good, like the actually the approach that I'm trying to take over here is we see that the revenue has declined, and I'm trying to break it down into factor by factor as to exactly which factor is decreasing. And by the end of this session, I would want to nail down that one factor, or basically the possible issue that we might be facing. So let me know if you are like following my whole story up till now. And yes, post this, let
Yes,
me.
I'm fine. Yes, I'm fine with the approach up till now that you have taken. And yeah, we were also focused more on figuring out the problem first, and then we can jot down the solutions.
Sure. So let's try and break down ROAS. So ROS is basically the it's a conversion function, and if we look at conversion from a user standpoint of view, it's basically a function of the brand, the campaign, and your organic word of mouth that is there in the market, right?
Correct.
uh, so what I and like you mentioned earlier as well, that even we are seeing that our old users are basically also doing lesser number of trips.
Yes.
So what I would like to know over here is have basically like our campaigns, I am supposing that there wouldn't have been a major shift as such in the targeting that we were trying to do.
No, Nipun, the narrative has been largely the same.
Okay.
We still target the same upper market city users that we did previously. So there has been no change in the cohorts that we are targeting or the kind of content that we do for these ads. There has been no significant change in that.
Okay. which which basically helps me deduce that has our brand image overall and the organic word of mouth that's there in the market, has that basically taken a shift? So do we see any Play Store reviews, Google reviews, and any Facebook reviews that we are getting from these new users and our old users that might be affecting our potential new users?
So we do see a narrative being shaped up online at least, wherein we see a lot of one-star reviews on Play Store and a lot of negative comments on our posts on social media and all those things. So we do see a tonality there wherein users are complaining that we are facing issues regarding their refunds of their uh, fees that we charge for securing the deposit, basically the security deposit that we charge. There has been a lot of comments regarding that online.
Understood. Understood. Can you help me with the user flow once, as to how a person comes in, books, what's the security deposit? That'll help me deduce.
So basically, let's assume you have the app with you.
Right.
So you just open the app, and as per your current location, it will show you variety of options that you have between different cars that you can rent out for the day or for, let's say, a period of time.
Right.
And you select one of them, it shows a booking amount to you. And additional to the booking amount, we also charge a security deposit, which we refund if there are no issues with the ride, let's say. Okay. And
Understood.
we upfront charge the security fee and the booking fee that is there for the car.
Okay. Okay. So basically, and what is the average holding period you will say post which you guys return if there is no issue, and if there is any issue, then what's the scenario? Let's discuss both of these
So
scenario.
so in 90% of the cases, our holding period is around 7 days, but there are, let's say, 10% of the cases which are disputed, and it takes us significantly longer time than 7 days to solve those cases.
Understood. Understood. So, in this online narrative that you mentioned, so I'm guessing more of these one-star reviews and the people who are complaining are more from the dispute uh, areas, right? Where they are probably facing that their money is stuck, and hence they are coming out online and raising their voices. So, what I would like to understand is, since it's a past 4 month decline that we have seen, so has there any been changes in the processes that we follow internally for basically returning these security deposits? How we check whatever the legality over here is?
So basically, we have changed the strategy regarding the period of time wherein we hold the security deposit, because we were facing certain problems with regard to their services, because owners usually have a couple of days until which they can complain about a particular trip, and we were facing issues with regards to that. And lots of owners were coming back to us and saying that this is damaged and that is damaged with their car, and we were sort of funding it out of our own pockets, those services, because we had refunded the money back to the original customer. And uh, so basically we were funding it through our own pockets, and that's the thing we changed. Ki we started holding it for a bit longer to
Okay.
fund these services. Yes.
Understood. So earlier, basically, we were refunding user prior to basically closing down the dispute, but now we are letting it flow
Yeah,
in. I guess.
basically earlier we were closing the loop with the customers within, let's say, 6 hours of their trip completion, and now we take about 7 days to do so.
Understood. Okay. So, like earlier you mentioned, like earlier we were basically closing down the loops within the 6 hours. Now we hold this money for 7 days or longer, and then return the money. Can you talk more about how do we check these disputes? What's the processes over here, and what is like basically what is the percentage of disputes that we used to see earlier? Let's say 6 months earlier. Now let's say we see 10% disputes. I'm guessing this number might have increased given our scrutiny that we are doing now for more health
So,
business.
So from a supply standpoint, we have seen a change in the kind of supply mix that we have. We earlier used to lease our own cars,
Yeah.
and as well as partner with big players in the city, let's say, who have 50 cars, 60 cars of their own. But currently what has happened is we have sort of democratized the supply, as in if you have a car at your home, you can also be part of the Zoomcar supply. So you have a simple onboarding which you can do, and wherein you can enroll for the supply. So this is the thing that has changed, and so because of it, we are currently seeing 7 to 8% of dispute cases. Earlier this number used to be around 2-3%, and the number of unique people that are complaining also has increased, largely due to the supply that we have onboarded. So yeah, that's the thing that has changed as far as supply is concerned.
Okay, that's a I guess that's a really nice point that could help us identify why these dispute cases have arrived. So earlier we had our own fleet, and we basically partnered with big clients where the chance of doing fraud is comparatively lesser. So help me with this. Does the new supply that we are onboarding do they have the higher proportion of the disputes, or the disputes in our normal category like our cars, that has also probably increased? And if increased, then let's also discuss the margins over there. That will help us identify who is the main contributor to this increase.
So the disputes, the 7% dispute rate that I've talked about, that has come about mostly from the new supply that we were talking about. The percentage increase, let's say, in our own supply, or in cases our old partners, is marginal only, and it can be ignored largely. And mostly the disputes are coming from the new supply that we have onboarded.
Understood. Understood. I guess we can definitely nail down the issue over here that we might be facing. Is that the issue that we are facing definitely is with the new supply that we have onboarding. And what I would want to do is like basically now understand why the supply is so poor. I guess we can talk more about what's the onboarding process for a person who is coming into this your Zoomcar ecosystem with their own car, and subsequently how do we deal with them, and how are we giving them back the money if there's any dispute as such.
So I'll tell you about the onboarding flow for the supply. So basically, there are three simple steps. You just log on to our system. You upload your RC papers and all those things that relate you with the ownership of the car. You prove
Okay.
your ownership, and then you simply upload a video of the car, wherein you show the interiors, the exterior, and yeah, that's about it. We basically check for the pollution and all those papers which you upload, and see the condition of the car in the video, and then it's a automated flow wherein your car is onboarded for the system.
Understood. And does this exercise repeats itself before each trip? Like before giving out the car, does the supplier needs to take the video again and again, or is it like the user does so that we can analyze what's the before and after results of the if the user has done anything wrong?
So basically, before onboarding the car, we take an in-depth review of the video through a proprietary model of ours. And after the supply has been onboarded into the system, we basically leave it upon our service teams in the cities, and then before handling you the car, they take a basic video of the scratches and all which are there in the car. And after you come back from the trip, they basically look at those exterior things only. But largely the fault rate that has been coming about is people are complaining about more structural issues which are besides from the outer exterior of the car, but they are complaining about things like clutch plates and all those things. So we are not seeing complaints that are there are largely related to non-cosmetic issues which you can't see by the eye. Basically, they are complaining that their gear system is all fucked up after the trip, and their clutches are all burnt, and those sort of things.
Okay. Okay. Understood. So I guess that helps me nail down the issue, wherein I guess we are facing this supply issue with our new supply that is coming in. The health of this new supply, as to in their car quality, or basically the exterior as well as the interior car quality, has been deteriorated, and because of which people might be raising issues later on, and hence we are facing this negative reviews overall online. Does that more or less sum up the issue that we are facing, and we can, like, go ahead and discuss few of the solutions to these problems that we might be facing?
Yes, Nipun, that more or less is to the point, the problem that you have uh, discovered onto. And yeah, that is the issue we are facing currently, and we can head into the solutions.
Understood, understood. So, okay, let's start with the solutions. I think so. Basically, the problems that we are facing can be broken down into both from our supply and the demand side of issues. On the supply side, like you mentioned, basically, we do have our models that are checking. Over here, what we can do is, with these models, we can also pass the confidence as to how confident is the model on their health, and whichever are the low confident ones, there we can have a manual review from our partners. So that is one. uh,
Okay.
on the second, basically, the city teams that we can have a regular at regular intervals, we can check the health of our cars again and again, to ensure the upmark that is there, and introduce few benchmarks for our suppliers, for these actually these new suppliers that we are onboarding, so that we ensure that overall the car is safety as well. And from the demand side, I think so we can possibly partner with financial partners who can help us with financing the deposits, and for that we can ask user to basically, we can charge some premium over there, or we can actually include or give out roll out insurance products with again these financial companies, who can again safeguard the overall trip and the deposits. It will be a minimal charge also, and we can work with our financial partners to roll out such that can also help in increasing the revenue functions also, and overall safeguard basically our end revenue decline that we are seeing. So I guess these four solutions, if implemented, would help us rectify this. And apart from that, we can also start a campaign overall to bolster up our image, so that, like, basically to counter all the negative reviews that we are seeing.
Sure.
Does that make sense? Does that help overall? What do you think?
Yeah, the solutions that you have provided attack the problem from both the points, uh, both the demand and the supply side of the problem. And the solutions themselves are comprehensive enough. And I think these will be very useful to the client. And if I think these are implemented, we will see a renewed uptrend in the revenues, which are declining for a period. Yeah.
That's great. That's great.